Well, welcome everyone. So if you're joining us live, we're so glad to have you with us. And if you're watching the recording, we hope to hear from you soon. We are very excited to share with you the Aurora Expeditions experience. We are Suzanne and Steve Clausen, and we own our own CruiseOne travel agency in Show Low, Arizona. So if you're new to our agency, my husband and I definitely have a passion for travel. As a matter of fact, we are coming to you live from Tromsø, Norway right now. We are between two exciting cruises to visit Iceland and Greenland, and we had a little bit of a layover in Tromsø. So we have a huge passion for traveling, and we want to share that passion with our clients, and we want to help them have meaningful vacations just like we have. We use our travel and our experience to help people have better experiences because we've been there, we've done it. And for us, our clients are never a transaction. I've built personal relationships with all my clients. And some of the people I consider some of my closest friends are clients that we have traveled with on other cruises. Just a couple of the advantages of working with my agency. I have a lot of training and expertise to guide customer decisions. And I truly believe that there is a cruise that will fit everyone, everything from a big, gigantic mega ship to a small expedition ship and everything in between. And I'll let you know the best kept secret in travel. The price that you pay for a cruise has the travel agency commission that I earn built into it, whether you book through me or not. So if you're booking directly with a cruise line, you're actually paying for something that you're not getting, which is the services of a professional travel agent. I make a point of taking extra special care of my clients. I call it my concierge service, and I'm pretty accessible. I've been working all weekend. We've been here in Norway, booking new cruises, helping follow up with questions that people might have. So I'm really take pride in the fact that I take excellent care of all my clients. So in our presentation tonight, Bonnie Newman, she's joined us from Aurora Expeditions, and she's going to share their expedition experience. And then I'm going to share some highlights from our 2023 cruise with Aurora Expeditions. Now, we went to the Arctic, not the Antarctic, so it's a little bit different, but I can share some of the highlights of that. And then we'll get to our exclusive discount group cruises. So first, I'm going to ask this question. What is an expedition style cruise? And it's really completely different from a traditional cruise. The majority of cruises that my husband and I have done have been traditional cruises, you know, ships with 700 to 3,000 people on board. You get that over-the-top entertainment. You have formal nights. You're on a floating resort. I mean, the ship is just as much an attraction as the destination. But when you go on a ship like that and you go to remote destinations like Antarctica, you only get to do scenic sailing in those places. An expedition cruise with Aurora is going to be 120 or fewer guests. And for these polar expeditions, they only bring 100 guests, maybe a little more if you know, they get some triples and quads, but they keep the numbers down. They're sailing on modern purpose-built icebreaker ships, and you get complete immersion in the destination with Zodiac cruises, enrichment lectures. You get experts in all the fields of science and history and zoology and geology. It really is a chance for you to be focused on the wildlife and the scenic beauty of these remote destinations. So I'll kind of tell you about my history with Antarctica. So we've actually sailed there 2 previous times. We went in February of 2020 with a small group, and that we got so much positive feedback from our clients that they wanted to do that. They saw what a great experience we had. We took a larger group in 2023. And then many of our guests from that larger group said, Suzanne, we got to go back here, but we don't want to just sail around. We want to get off and walk around the ship because we were on a ship with over 2,000 people. This is as close as we got to Antarctica. For my 83-year-old mom, that was perfect for her. She did not need to get off on a Zodiac, but a lot of people in our group said, we've got to go back. We want to really experience the continent. So Steve and I said, well, we need to learn what all this expedition cruising is about. So in the summer of 2023, we headed down to Longyearbyen and we visited the polar ice cap, this very remote area. Longyearbyen and the Svalbard archipelago are northeast of Iceland and Greenland. So that'll kind of give you an idea of where that is. And we decided that we were going to take the plunge into expedition cruising, and we literally did. So you can see us. There's us on a typical cruise. We're all dressed up in our gala finery, and then there we are on our expedition cruise. If you look, the smile, it actually looks a little more genuine, I think, on the expedition cruise. Although we still love both kinds of cruisings. A lot of people ask me this, like, who can enjoy an expedition cruise? So I would say that guests should be in generally good health. You need to be average fitness and above to fully participate. And the way I put that is you need to be mobile, but you don't necessarily need to be out, jogging 5 miles a day and lifting weights every day. I'm certainly not extremely fit, neither is Steve, but we were able to take these walks and enjoy them. And that's a nice thing about these expeditions, that they do have shore activities where you can just be a beachcomber. You don't have to do any kind of elevation change. If you're more fit, you want to hike up to that peak that they've designated for the long walk, you can do that too. And then sometimes the shore excursions are simply riding in a Zodiac. And so you just need to be able to step down off that ship into the Zodiac and be able to sit in the Zodiac when you sail around all this beautiful scenery in Antarctica. Here's a quick video to show you a little bit about Aurora expedition. That's a little loud there. Video. I think it really gives a nice sense of what the expedition experience is about. So the cruise that we are hosting, and that's what we're specifically giving you information about tonight, although Aurora Expeditions does a lot more. They have 3 ships that go to Antarctica. And then during the summer, they have lots of different ships that are going to the Arctic, or it's actually the same ships, but they're just going up to the Arctic. This is our 13-day across the Antarctic Circle expedition. It's round trip from Ushuaia, Argentina. And I'll give you, before I introduce Bonnie, who's going to introduce us and tell us more about Aurora Expeditions, I want to kind of explain why we chose Aurora Expeditions to host our 2026 group cruise. There's lots of new people or new companies that are getting into the expedition arena. Some of the biggest cruising companies in the world are now building purpose-built expedition ships. However, their numbers of people are 200 or 300 people. And what that means is that you have to do split landings. And so the first 100 people get off, they get to go around and do something. They go back to the ship. Then another 100 people get off. And if you've got 300 people on your ship, you've got a third group. So you're not actually getting to spend as much time in the destination. And I kind of feel like if you're going to spend all this time and effort and money to go down to Antarctica, you want to experience as much of it as you can. And having to do those split zodiac landings really takes away from that. The So we worked with Bonnie. We've known Bonnie for several years now. She actually was on the cruise that we went to in the Arctic. And she is a representative of Aurora Expedition. She's like she's our, actually now you have to, I'll let you introduce your new position, Bonnie. But we wanted to go with a company that would give you that immersive destination experience. We wanted someone who was a good steward of the environment, and there's no other company that has a better record than Aurora Expeditions. And we just had such an incredible experience with them in the Arctic. Like, people ask me, what was your favorite cruise you've ever done? And I've been on over 60 cruises. How do I pick one? The one where the images pop into my mind as being the most dramatic and the most amazing was that trip to the Arctic. And it was because Aurora Expeditions put us in such a good place to be able to fully experience that cruise. So here's Bonnie. So Bonnie, I don't know if you're on mute, but go ahead and unmute yourself if you're not. Yay.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining the call today. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about Aurora Expeditions, but as Suzanne and Steve have explained, they got to experience us firsthand, and the product is absolutely amazing. Because we're small, we also become a big family when we're on board, and a lot of tears at the end of the trips, and it's an amazing experience. So next slide, Suzanne. Great. So are you expedition ready? So I love talking about this because we're not a cruise. We are a true expedition company, not a cruise line getting into the space like Suzanne was mentioning. We have been around for 33 years, and all we have ever done are expeditions. So next slide, Suzanne. So as I said, we've been around for 33 years. We are an Australian company. We were founded by a gentleman named Greg Mortimer, and he's a well-known Australian adventurer. And we're all about adventure, discovery, and exploration. We've been in the North America market for about 4 years, so the word is just now getting out about Aurora Expeditions. At the end of last year, we became a certified B Corp. And it's a rigorous certification process. It takes 2 to 3 years, and it reflects our dedication to meeting the highest standards of transparency, accountability, and sustainability in all of our business practices, not just with our ships being 100% climate neutral and no, plastics on board, but this is across all of our business practices. There's only 8,000 companies in the world that have achieved this, and we're the only cruise/expedition company, so we're really proud of that. On board all of our expeditions, we're all about education and enrichment. So we are going to have the pertinent ologist, I like to say, whether it's a geologist, glaciologist, but we also have a very robust citizen science program that our guests can get involved in, and we collect all this data and we send it back to these organizations. Like the cloud study, we send back to NASA. We also do cleanups in different areas, and it's just our way of giving back to the areas that we visit. And these are a couple of our guests doing the microplastics, I believe. So what we include on an Aurora expedition is obviously, your accommodations and your excursions, the Zodiac cruises. All of our walks and our hikes are guided. The photography program, the lectures, and of course the polar plunge. We include that on every one of our sailings. And I just mentioned the citizen science program, bird watching, and then we visit lots of historical sites as well. Now, if you're very active and want to add on to your expedition experience, in Antarctica, we include or we offer camping, kayaking, scuba diving, snorkeling, skiing, snowshoeing, rock climbing, and you could see the wide variety here. If you are interested in any of these activities, you do need to book them in advance. And I recommend booking them when you're making your reservation with Suzanne. She can help you with that. We don't offer
And I
all
just
of
wanted
them
to
on
mention,
all sailings. Yeah.
yeah, for this particular cruise, the two optional ones are the kayaking and the snorkeling, which
Yeah.
if you're interested in learning more about the snorkeling, I have a great video that was put up on YouTube by Insider Travel Report, and it's a great interview with the snorkeling guide. It's about, I think it's about 5-10 minutes long, but it really gives you an idea of what the snorkel program is all about.
And if you are participating in one of our activities, we provide all of the gear for you, so you don't have to worry about bringing anything. This particular shot obviously is our kayakers. We fit you to your kayak, so you're in the same kayak for the duration of the trip. The dry suits are fitted to you as well. This is a picture of me on the right. I'm in the front there. I got to experience the kayak program. It was a lot of fun. And these were the snowshoers on our trip. And I think there's a snorkeling picture, is there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the story.
Yeah,
Did
there
it
we
not
are.
refresh on your end? Okay.
It just took a minute, yeah.
So that's
So these were the snorkelers, and you can
okay.
actually stay in the water up to an hour. So it's widely popular. Our expert guides, our expedition team is absolutely amazing. Some have been with us for 25 years, some for 10 years. A lot of longevity with us. They like working for Aurora because of what we stand for. Next slide. So on any of our expeditions, you'll see a wide variety of different nationalities and different ologists. 25% of our leaders are female, and when you see the entire expedition team, 47% are female now. So wide variety. So we have 2 ships in our fleet. We have a third one coming out, but I'll talk about the Greg Mortimer. That was named after our founder. And then our other ship is named after Dr. Sylvia Earle, the world-renowned marine biologist and oceanographer. And I wanted to point out the weird nose in the front. And it's called an Ulstein X-bow, and it's like an upside-down hull. And we were one of the companies that helped design it, and we studied dolphins and saw how they kind of glide through the waves. So it's a lot smoother and a lot more fuel efficient than a traditional ship. Next slide, Suzanne. So when Suzanne was alluding to the number of passengers that we carry on our ships, there's a lot of rules that govern Antarctica, and 2 of them have to do with the size of the ship. So any vessel that has more than 500 passengers can't make a landing in Antarctica. So as Suzanne's previous trips, they just kind of sailed by because those ships were larger. Aside from that, 100 people can be ashore from the vessel at any one time. And so if you've got 200 people, you rotate. So you're immediately losing 50% of your time on shore. And then if bad weather rolls in, you get less time. So with our size of ship, everybody goes at the same time. So you can do an outing 2 to 3 times a day. So we really maximize the time that you're in the destination. So that's the Greg Mortimer. This is what our standard stateroom looks like. We have the walkout balconies. We have heated bathroom floors. The beds can be put together as a king or separated as 2 twin beds. Perfect for drying your gloves after the morning outing, but also nice to step out onto a warm bathroom floor as well. This is our lecture theater, and this is where we'll do a lot of the briefings and the lectures. It's a really comfortable space. And this is the library on the Greg Mortimer, and it's filled with lots of different books about the destination. We have a fully equipped gym and a mudroom. So this is fantastic because you don't have to bring all of your gear up to your room. So you can store your life vest down here, your muck boots, which we include complimentary use of those. So yeah, it's your locker for the entire trip. And our Zodiacs. So we have 17 Zodiacs on board. We use 15, 2 of them are spare. And we usually put 8 to 10 on each one. The ship has a marina that comes off the back, and this is where we typically will load the kayaks. And we have so much fun on all of our sailings. And this happens to be the night of the barbecue. So once on the trip, we do an outdoor barbecue with ribs and chicken and steaks and all kinds of food. And everybody just has so much fun. We now have, we call it a hat party. So everyone puts on these funky hats, and it's just a lot of fun.
What I like about this picture is it shows that it's casual, and you've got all ages and all kinds of configurations of people. So you've got solos, you've got couples, you've got groups, you've got a little bit of everything. So it's really a wonderful experience for anyone who's interested in going on this type of cruise.
Yeah, and thanks for pointing out that it's very casual. We don't have the formal nights or anything like that. Perfect attire would be jeans, sneakers, and a sweatshirt or a sweater. So it's very, very casual on board. I know Suzanne alluded to this earlier, but what makes us a little bit different is our positive impact on wherever we go. Our small purpose-built expedition ships, education enrichment, more time off ship, and the world's leading activity program as well. So, and of course, our expedition team. So that's what makes us really different. Here's a map of Antarctica. We typically will sail out of Argentina, and then you sail across the Drake Passage. It takes about 36 hours. And when you are sailing across, we'll do a lot of the briefings, the biosecurity checks. You can exchange your jackets if they don't fit, because we do give everybody a polar jacket. So that's a very relaxing day, and you're learning about the destination because as soon as you get there, it's quite busy. And then you can.
Oh, and I want to
Yeah, go
jump in
ahead.
and explain what a biosecurity check is, because a lot of people get a little freaked out about that. What
Oh,
it is
yes, thank you.
is like, yeah, if you have your hiking pants that you have brought from home, and maybe your hiking boots because you're going to change your boots. What they want to do is they want to bring your equipment that you're going to wear. They're going to open it up, like the ankles of your pants, make sure that no seeds or anything like that that doesn't belong in Antarctica is in your clothing that you're going to wear ashore. And they have a
Yeah,
vacuum.
Velcro. A lot of times it's Velcro or
Mhm.
pockets. They'll
Yeah,
vacuum them out.
they'll vacuum it out because they just want to make sure. So people are like, "What is a biosecurity check? Oh, what are they going to do? Like, take blood?" And no, it's a check of your clothing to make sure you're not bringing
Thank
something
you.
that doesn't belong in the environment. Next, well, I love this slide. I love the little
Okay.
wildlife of
All right, go
Antarctica.
ahead.
Well, this is what I'm excited about because we saw penguins from a very, very long distance when we did the Antarctica cruise in 2023, and very few whales. And what we're excited about is the time of year that we're going, and the ability to be on Zodiacs and land ashore, walk amongst the penguins and the albatross, and even I know that we'll probably even do some citizen science where we even scoop up a little bit of like Arctic krill, and we'll then have a chance to go look at it under the microscope. So lots of different ways to experience the wildlife in Antarctica and the penguins. and the sea lions. We'll see a lot of those in Argentina as well. And the icebergs. Oh, that's one of my favorite things about visiting the Arctic. But now I'm going to go back to Antarctica and do it, but to get to sail among all those beautiful icebergs. Anything to add here, Bonnie?
No, so
Oh,
this is a typical landing. So you'll get from the ship onto the Zodiac, and then the Zodiac will take you ashore. And our team normally, well, they always go out in advance. And, if it's difficult to walk, they'll pack down the ice, so make it easier for all of our guests. And then they'll do different hikes. So they'll do a beachcomber hike where you can stay close to the shore. You can do a medium walk or a longer walk. So it depends on where we are, but that's typically how it works.
and the included extras.
Yeah,
You
so
want to
we
go
will
over
pick
that?
you up at the airport when you arrive in Ushuaia. And the first day is in a hotel. So that's included. And then the day after that, on the way to the ship, we do a half a day sightseeing tour. And Ushuaia is fantastic. There's a lot to see there. Um, if you want to go in early, there's a lot of hiking available there as well. It's a neat destination.
Yeah, I had some clients that rented bicycles and rode
Mhm.
around that whole area on their bicycles when we were there in 2023.
Yeah. Yeah. And then on board, so all the shore excursions, house drinks with dinner, we do provide Wi-Fi, and it's Starlink, which is the most efficient Wi-Fi that you in one waterproof expedition jacket. So you'll have the inside will be a puffy jacket. The outer jacket is like a waterproof, um, thicker waterproof jacket. And then you can wear them together as well. Complimentary use of the muck boots, a professional photographer on every voyage. So they'll be taking pictures. And then at the very end, there's an amazing slideshow. You can also add your own photos to that as well. And then, of course, all the port charges, permits, and landing fees, we include all that too. Suzanne, do you want to talk about the itinerary, or do you want me to?
I'll be happy to talk about
Okay.
it. So the interesting thing about when you do an expedition cruise like this, where you're going to one of the most remote parts of the world, is that a lot of it is depending on weather and sea conditions. And the captain and the expedition leader will work together to make sure that they are mapping out the best experience, and it's based on the latest data that they have. So it's kind of an open itinerary, but we'll embark, and then we cross the Drake Passage. Like Bonnie said, there will be biosecurity, but also presentations on things that we can expect. And then for days 5 through 10, we'll be sailing around different parts of the Antarctic Peninsula and also across the Antarctic Circle. That is the plan to cross it. And then, of course, we sail back, disembark in Ushuaia. So this is a kind of screenshots of the details of the itinerary. I know it's kind of an eye chart, but if you're interested in going over this with a, when you have more time, we can definitely do that as well for you. Again, crossing the Drake Patches. And this is the best part, is this 5 to 10 days, because there are some cruise lines that do excuse me, yeah, day 5 to day 10. So that's actually 6 days, right?
Mhm.
Because you count both days. 6
6 or 7, yeah.
days in Antarctica. There's a lot of cruise lines that are doing this as a 7-day cruise. And that means you really only get like 2 or 3 days in Antarctica. So you really don't get this full experience like you have on our longer itinerary. And then we'll head back. So it's going to be really nice. And I'll have some slides later where I talk about the logistics of getting you to Ushuaia, because I've researched it all. I'm going to be able to help every single one of my clients work out the logistics. So there's that. Now I get to show a little bit of my personal photos from our trip in 2023 on the Sylvia Earle. Most amazing experience. That's where Svalbard is. So you can see Iceland's down here, Greenland's here. That's where Svalbard is. It's completely inside the Arctic Circle. And these just some of my own pictures that I took when we were doing Zodiac cruises. And you can see it was gorgeous to see everything on a sunny day, but even on a foggy day, it was incredibly beautiful and interesting. The same with some of the spectacular scenery. And we can expect to see similar geology to this in Antarctica. It's actually a little bit more glaciated than Svalbard is. Arctic birds. So up in the Arctic, we see the birds like the guillemots. The penguins kind of have this niche in the Southern Ocean. Those are some seals that are hauled out. That's another thing we'll be able to see in Antarctica. And then some whales. Now, I don't think, I'm not sure exactly which ones we'll see, but we're probably expected to see orcas and humpback whales in the time of year that we're going. And it's really great because if you're on the Zodiac cruise, it really is one of the best way to see whales because you're on the same level with them. They're coming up. You can really appreciate the whales. And I did completely lose my marbles and did a polar plunge last summer. And if you look behind me, you see this. That's the polar ice cap. That was pretty exciting to do that. And you could not get me out of that water quick enough. I was like, here's pictures from our crazy hat party and the barbecue. Wonderful, wonderful, just kind of fun experience. We did the barbecue right after we did our polar plunges. So those of us that jumped in had to run to our room, take a hot shower, dry our hair, and come back to the barbecue party. The international food was amazing. I loved all the food. I thought the service was impeccable. Most of the crew on the ship have worked on some of the big ships and some of the luxury ships. So they have a lot of experience in working with people. It's just some of my favorite food shots. I mean, everything was delicious. We had beautiful presentation. And the next video I have, it is just going to show you what it's like getting in and out of a Zodiac because they're very stable and very maneuverable. As a matter of fact, they are more stable than tender boats. And I'll give you an example in a second. But there we are. There's a gentleman coming out. They help him on. He sits right back down. And they're ready to help the next person. So when we were just in Iceland last week, we were on a ship that used Zodiacs to disembark. And we were supposed to pull into port in Grundarfjörður, Iceland. And it was too windy for us to pull into port. Now, 2 years ago, we were on Holland America, which was going to tender from that port. And it was too windy and they canceled our port. With an expedition cruise line that uses Zodiacs, they said, oh, we're just going to drop anchor and ride in on the Zodiacs. So they are even more maneuverable, safer, and plus we all have life jackets on than those tender boats that the large cruise ships use. Here's a look at that wonderful expedition team. Now, when we talk about expertise, Howard, who is pictured right here, Howard Whelan was our expedition leader, and he was part of Greg Mortimer's team that scaled Mount Everest. He was on the camera crew. He also has extensive experience in Antarctica. He did a lot of the pre-production filming for the movie Happy Feet, and he's done numerous documentaries and that kind of thing down in Antarctica. He has been with Aurora Expeditions, I think, since inception. So. And a lot of the expedition leaders have that kind of experience and have been around that long. So you really are getting an experienced team when you sail with Aurora Expeditions. And just a summary of our experience. We loved the destination immersion. The wildlife and the scenery in an expedition environment was absolutely amazing. And that's why we chose Aurora Expeditions for Antarctica for 2026, because it was such an amazing experience that we had with them. So here's when our cruise is. It's February 21st to March 5th, 2026. It's on the Aurora Expeditions Greg Mortimer. The plan is to cross the Antarctic Circle. See, there it shows we're going to go probably in that little bay right there. And just another summary of the itinerary. The ship, again, purpose-built icebreaker, has that Ulstein X-bow, easy on and off with the Zodiacs, highly fuel efficient, and it is an ice class 1A Polar Code 6, so fully SOLAS compliant as well. So let's show you a little bit more about the ship. These are some of the twin and triple rooms that are porthole rooms, but most of the rooms on the ship, whether they're category C, B, or A, are going to be these standard balconies with a walkout balcony that you can go out on, and they're about 224 to about 301 square feet. And again, the bathrooms are nice because they have that heated floor tile. There is a superior balcony that's a little bit bigger. The bed actually faces the exterior. That's kind of the advantage of that room. And then there is a junior suite. So the junior suite has 2 rooms in it. So it's got like a separate living area that connects to the, I think it's just a window there, but then it's got the bedroom that connects to the balcony. And then there is the captain suite, which again is a two-room suite, a little bit bigger than the junior suite. And here's the deck plan. So you can kind of get an idea of how the ship is laid out. And now I'm going to go over our pricing and our categories that we have available. So there are still some triples available. The twin share with the lower level porthole rooms is no longer available. In our allocation, we had 7 category Cs. We have sold them all. So we have category B. We still have 4 of those available to sell. Plus we have 1 in the category A. And as long as the next 3 categories are available, last time I checked, they were all available. The superior, the junior, and the captain suite were all still available. We've got discount pricing on those. And over here is the chart that is our savings over Aurora Direct. So it's quite a bit of savings versus Aurora gave us a great contract. They really did. They knew that we were going to go out there and promote this and get people excited about it. So they gave us a really aggressive price for us to work with. And we're so thrilled that they did that. So the cabins are held through August 15th. And after that, the pricing is good, but anybody wanting to book this cruise can book into that, not just through my agency. So if I'm advising you, if you want to go, look at going booking by August 15th, so we can make sure that we still have cabins in our inventory. We also do have a male share cabin that's available, and we have a female share cabins because I already have 1 passenger booked into each of those cabins. So if you're interested in going solo and not paying a solo supplement, we can put you in the cabins with other expeditioners as well. So again, we're going to go over this again. I think Bonnie already mentioned
Suzanne,
this.
one thing I want.
Oh,
yeah,
go ahead. I'll go back. Yeah.
I just wanted to say, like, the differences between categories A, B, and C. So the rooms are going to be very similar. It's just the location.
Yes. It's just the location on the ship. Thank you, Bonnie. Okay. So again, I'm just summarizing everything that's included: your airport transfers, your 1-night hotel accommodation in Ushuaia, your onboard accommodations. Obviously, you know, they're giving you a room, all meals, snacks, tea and coffee during the voyage, beer, house wine, and soft drinks with dinner. And they have a captain's farewell reception, you know, with a champagne toast and maybe a cocktail of the day. All those Zodiac excursions are included. All your hiking excursions are included. The only thing that's going to be extra, and we'll get to that in a minute, is the kayaking or the snorkeling. Again, muck boots, Starlink, everything. There's really not a whole lot more that you could want from this cruise. There are a few things that are additional cost. Obviously, you've got to get your flights, your air from wherever home is. And I would recommend flying. I have a chart for this, but I recommend maybe flying to Buenos Aires, spending the night there, and then doing just a connecting flight to get down to Ushuaia. And then the add-on activities, the snorkeling and the kayaking specifically for this cruise, and then for other dates, the other activities are available. And also alcoholic beverages outside of mealtime are at a charge, but they're very reasonably priced. You're not going to go home with a huge bar bill. So here's some logistics that I kind of researched. Now, we can't actually book your air until we get to like first week of April in 2025, because we have to be inside of 330 days. But just to give you an idea, Um, Economy flights are going to be, $900 to $1,100 a person. I kind of researched it based on this year's pricing. Then if you like go from Phoenix, make a connection in Dallas, that might be, just $930. A 4-star hotel in Buenos Aires is about $200 a night. So again, I'm recommending that you come in, or maybe you stay at the airport, like the Holiday Inn at the airport, because you're just there to kind of do your layover before you get your connecting flight. And then you can either fly from the international airport or the local airport. Probably easier to do it from the international airport, but very inexpensive to get from Buenos Aires down to Ushuaia. And then Aurora has an extra night in Ushuaia that runs about $230. You also can fly directly to Ushuaia from the following cities: JFK and Miami. So what you do is it's not direct. You're making a connection in Buenos Aires, and it's all one contiguous connecting flight. So you leave in the evening, fly overnight to Buenos Aires, and then take a flight the day you arrive in Buenos Aires down to Ushuaia. And depending on how you want to do it, that kind of gives you an idea of what the prices are as well. So we're open for booking. We've locked in these great savings due to our strong relationship. I mean, we worked with Bonnie, like we want to have some aggressive pricing. They did that for us. I said it's March, but I really think it's going to be April when we can add the air. And, here's just a summary of the itinerary. It's going to be fantastic. Lots of days in Antarctica. And again, a summary of the pricing and the tremendous savings that we have. And people always ask about single supplement. If you're willing to do that share, there is no single supplement. If someone wants a room for themselves, it's 150% single supplement. Correct, Bonnie?
Yes.
So you would just pay 50% more than the prices that you see here. And we do have $100 onward credit. You could use that for your bar bill or whatever in the gift shop. One last video.
So that's why Aurora Expeditions has always treated those who come on the voyage as individuals. They're not group travel voyages. These are voyages of like-minded people travelling together and exploring in their own individual way.
All right, so we're going to open it up to questions. If you have a question, just unmute yourself. I think I'll leave my screen shared in case I need to go back and reference any of the slides. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand or unmute yourself and ask away.
No questions.
No questions. We
don't have any questions. Don't have any questions yet, but I'm sure I will. This is a great presentation, and very interested in coming along. So I will have some questions as I get a chance to think about it.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Anybody else have comments, questions, observations?
And just a note, we are recording this, and so we'll make the recording available to everybody who signed up for the meeting too, so you'll be able to watch it again if you want.
Okay. Well, I guess I should go to the next slide. Suzanne, how do we get in? Oopsie, what did I? There we go. Okay. So the question is, Suzanne, how do we book this cruise? So you need to get in touch with me. What I'll need is your full passenger profile information, your name as it appears on your passport, your birthday, and what kind of cabin you're interested in booking. And then we're working with the groups department in Australia. So I send an email off to the groups department in Australia. I tell her what kind of cabin you want. And then the next day we get an email back that says, hey, we've got this person booked. And then we're able to take deposits. So it's really easy. the deposit, and I don't know that we mentioned this before, and maybe it was on a slide, but I don't think I spoke it out loud. It is a $2,500 per person non-refundable deposit. So with it being a small ship, they can't have people booking and then canceling, you know, because it's really hard to replace people when you only have 100 passengers on board the ship. Aurora will try, if something really comes up and you can't go on the date, they will try to work with you at their discretion to move your deposit to another cruise. But it's not guaranteed. You know, they're going to work with you to try to find something, because they don't want to take your money and give you nothing. But you know, once you need to be sure that you're wanting to go when you put down that $2,500 deposit. You can find this video and more videos about our travels on our YouTube page, and you can email me at sclausen@cruiseone.com or call me. Now we're in Norway. It's almost 11 o'clock at Norway time. So if anybody wants to call me tonight, you need to let me know now, or otherwise I'm probably going to go to bed pretty soon. But I'll be happy to talk with you in the morning tomorrow, your time, and we can get you all set up.